Hey you! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today's video is the first part of a 3-part mini series that I have planned to do, and the series would be about 30 lessons that I have learned in 30 years of my life. This is an inspired idea. I feel inspired by Jenna Marbles. I don't know if you've heard of her. She is one of the biggest content creators in YouTube when YouTube was just starting. So she's one of the OGs. I really love her content, and she did this video where she talked about 30 life lessons that she learned in 30 years of her life. And back then when I watched that video, I never knew that one day I would be sitting here and doing a similar video like that. But yeah, this is not an original idea, it's an inspired idea. However, to make it my own, I'm going to divide this into a 3-part series. In today's video, I am going to talk about the first 10 lessons that I have learned in 30 years of my life. So here we go. So lesson number 1 is that time goes on and so will your life. And so nothing is permanent. Everything, literally everything is temporary. So whatever situation that you're in right now, whether it is good or whether it is bad, the person that you are today, whether you love that person or whether you hate that person, it's not going to last forever. Your problems are going to disappear. Your good times are going to disappear after a while. You are going to disappear after a while. And the thought of this actually brings me a lot of comfort during my bad days. So whenever I'm having a bad day, I just remind myself that this is not permanent. Time will go on and so will my life. Alright, moving on to lesson number 2. And the lesson number 2 is that the highest form of love that you can give yourself is knowing yourself. And this lesson is the courtesy of some random quote that I read on the internet. However, I resonate with this so deeply that this has become a life lesson in itself. Because my life has time and again showed me that maybe I don't know myself enough, or maybe I need to understand myself more in order to get where I want to be in life. And getting to know yourself, it's not an overnight thing. It's a lifelong process. When we talk of self-love, we usually focus on things like giving ourselves luxury, giving ourselves comfort, giving ourselves everything that we ever dreamed of. And while that is true, it is just a part of loving yourself. It's not the entirety. And I have begun to realize that the entirety, it lies in knowing yourself completely, knowing yourself deeply. So yeah, the highest form of love that you can give yourself is knowing yourself. Alright, moving on to lesson number 3. And the lesson number 3 that I have learned in life is that when you ask something from the universe or your God, it will not give you what you want and what you're asking for, what you're praying for directly. It will put you through situations that will force you to develop or to create what you want or what you're praying for. So for example, if you're asking your God or the universe for strength, your God will not give you the strength. Instead, it will put you through a difficult situation in life where you develop the strength to get through it. So it will keep putting you through hardships, through challenges in life, so that you can build within yourself what you're praying for from your God. Alright, moving on to the lesson number 4, which is somewhat related with the previous lesson that I talked about. And the lesson number 4 would be that you need to go through a lot of what you don't want in your life in order to realize what you do want in your life. Ending up in wrong relationships is the perfect example that I can think of right now. I never knew what I wanted in my future partner until and unless I went through the bad relationships and the bad friendships in life that made me realize that, hey, I don't want this in my partner. Even career-wise, I have been through a lot of situations throughout my career where I was so stressed out, where I was so depressed, that made me realize that, hey, a career shouldn't depress you like that. It shouldn't stress you out like that. It shouldn't take your life away from you like that. And I had to go through all of those negative situations in order to realize the positive situations that I really want to be in life. And so yeah, you need to get through the things that you don't want in life in order to realize exactly what it is that you want. Alright, moving on to the lesson number 5. And the lesson number 5 is that passion gets you far, discipline will get you farther, but passion plus discipline will get you the farthest. So if you're putting in any efforts into something and you're passionate about that, you're passionate about the work that you're doing and you're doing it consistently, there's no stopping you. Alright, moving on to the lesson number 6. And the lesson number 6 that I have learned in life is that if you want to make any big change in your life, that change starts from within you. That change starts from a change in your mindset. Without the mindset change, you will not be able to make that change successfully. You will not be able to make that change through and through. I've seen a lot of people who talk about changing a lot of aspects of their life. They have an entire detailed, meticulous, foolproof plan on each and every step that they need to take in order to make that change. However, they still fail because either they give up midway or they don't begin at all, because they don't have the mindset, because they don't have the belief that it takes to make that change in the first place. And so yeah, any big change that you plan, it all starts with you and with your mindset. Alright, moving on to lesson number 7. And lesson number 7 is somewhat related with the mindset thing that I talked about earlier. Lesson number 7 is that when we're basically born with the survival mindset. However, as we go through life and as we go through the rules and regulations set by the society, that survival mindset basically transforms into scarcity mindset. We are made to believe that we are not enough, or what we're doing is not enough, and we need to participate in a race of some sorts since school to get to the top. Like there's a top and there's a bottom, stuff like that. There's a lot of competition which pushes us into this scarcity mindset where we start believing that whatever we're doing, it's not enough. Whoever we are, it's not enough, and we constantly need to improve. As of now, I'm not trying to attach any positive or negative connotation with this mindset shift. However, it really helps when we are aware of this mindset within us, when we're aware of when we're acting out of survival mindset, or when we're acting out of scarcity mindset, or if we need to get out of this mindset to achieve what we want. And so yeah, we're all born with the survival mindset, and our mindset slowly transforms into a scarcity mindset. And sometimes just realizing this can be very helpful in situations. Alright, moving on to the lesson number 8. And lesson number 8 is about money. In the 7.5 years of my career, I have realized that making money is more of a mindset game than an effort game. It does take efforts to make money. However, more than efforts, it takes a certain mindset to make good amount of money. And that mindset is definitely not scarcity mindset, because scarcity mindset leads you to believe that whatever amount of money that you are making right now, it's enough for you, and then you never want to strive for more. And that is why making good money is more of a mindset game rather than an effort game. Until and unless you don't have the mindset that you need to make good amount of money, you will never push yourself to make the effort that you need to make in order to get good money. Alright, moving on to lesson number 9. And lesson number 9 is also about making money. And I realized this just very recently after I started making a decent amount of money. I won't say it's a lot. However, it's decent right now, but I know I can do more. And that lesson is that managing your money it requires a lot more skill than just making money, because as you start making good money, you also start losing it in taxes and lifestyle choices and in unanticipated and unplanned expenditures. Managing all of that can be really difficult sometimes. So yeah, money management is way tougher than actually making money. Alright, moving on to the 10th lesson, which is the last lesson of this video, but it's not the least of the series. And it's that throughout your life, you will be addicted to at least one thing. It can be anything. However, what you choose to be addicted to, it's in your control. You can be addicted to good things in life like hard work, or let's say fitness or health, or things that serve you, or even materialistic things. I'm not saying that materialistic things are the best things to be addicted to, but they're a lot better than getting addicted to drugs or things that harm you in the long run. I know this because in the past I have been addicted to a lot of bad things like drugs and stuff like that, but now I'm addicted to a whole different set of things which are actually working out in my favor, things that are actually serving me and contributing to a better future. And so yeah, addiction will always be there, but if it's for a good thing or a bad thing, that's for you to choose, and you have the power to choose that. And so yeah, that would be it for this video. If you feel that you also resonated with any of the first 10 lessons that I have elaborated, do let me know in the comments or via the email. Also, if you want a detailed explanation of how I reached that lesson in particular, I would be really happy to make a video on that as well. I guess that is it. I hope to see you soon in the part 2 of this video. So till then, take care.